Hello everyone and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for Thursday, April the 27th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of your trading room. This is the address to get into the room, and the room is open from 9 a.m. up to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I share my screen and I'm live on the mic between those two times. And yes, the room is free, no strings attached. Come in as a guest. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to experience what we do in this room all the time. All right, well, you know what? There's really, for me anyway, just one stock to talk about, and this is SNCR. So, as said, I usually actually open the room at about 8:45. And that's when we start seeing the ones that are moving in the pre-market. And of course, this one caught our eye. See SNCR. I mean, look at it. Closed yesterday at 24.64, and before the market opened, it was down at 14.84. So again, a $10 drop. So, in quickly looking at the news, saw that the CFO and the CEO had resigned, and poor revenue guidance and probably lawsuits are going to happen. Excuse me. So. Obviously, to me anyway, that was one that had to be watched because, that's pretty startling news when you get both the CFO and the CEO abruptly resigning. I mean, that basically obviously puts a company in disarray. So watching this action right here, then we saw the little pull-up. All right, now this is at 9:15, and then just before the market opened, notice this bottoming tail right there. There was the low up to that point. Basically, right at the low, the market opens and it starts to gap down. So now, this was one, in retrospect, as we said, I didn't get it. I mean, this really started to fall. I mean, this was really collapsing very, very quickly. But it was kind of whipping up and down too. So you had to be very careful. I had to be careful anyway. Anyway, bottom line is that I ended up taking the trade. Well, that's straight. I wasn't even able to announce it. Well, this was happening so quickly. I think I got into this one around 14.54 and got out at 14.27 on a quick scalp. All right. Then I kept watching it, and then when it broke down through down through 14, I was able to announce in the room. Whoops, took the trade. Well, it's right. Actually, it was right there. Then I guess close enough. Ended up taking the trade right here on the short. Now look what it did. I mean, it got all the way down to 13. I'd like to say I was able to short it all the way down there. Not quite. I covered some at 13.50 and 13.60. See how it popped right back up? And then I got back into it. This is one that I traded actually 4 times, right up here, right here. And then I got back into the short as it broke under 12. I'm sorry, under 13. I got into it at, I think it was 12.84. Put a mark. Must have been right here, and then it popped up, and I took myself out of the trade for a small loss. And then when it broke down again, actually it must have been right here. I'm sorry, it was right here because when it popped back up, so I got into the short right around here. It popped back up, took myself out of the trade, got back into the trade right about here. Now, that line is about the same. It was actually 12.82. And then, then it started to move down. I wish I could have said I held it on, but you see, this got me out again. I covered some at 12.57 and 12.75. And that was it. Now, I tried to get it again right here, and I kept chasing it down, missing it by a penny, 2 cents, 3 cents. I didn't want to go in at the market because I mean, these things, they can have a violent pop also. So I just kept waiting for my my price. I mean, look at this. This went from 11.59 to 12.30. And this is a 5-minute candle, and that was pretty quick. So anyway, bottom line is I just wasn't able to get a fill that I wanted on the way down, which is really too bad because I had another spectacular move. But many of us, of course, were in this one all day. And this is why the pre-market work is important because you can kind of zero in on the ones that are really which I would consider worth watching all day long. we're right at the beginning of earnings season. So, there are a ton of stocks that potentially are flying up or down. And the problem can be that you get nothing done because you're trying to watch them all. So my advice is really maybe to pick a couple to start and just track them. And that's what I did. I mean, I missed all sorts of other ones. People were taking other trades as this was happening, but that's fine. I mean, I had no problem because I could have been looking at the other ones and looking at another one and another one, and sometimes you just get nothing done. Meanwhile, the one you really wanted to look at runs away from you. So what else did I do? What that was interesting. A little bit of a disappointment here. This was a Holly alert. Yeah, SONS, Holly alert. I waited. So the alert actually it was right at 791. It's you can't see it. If this moved off the price, you would see it. But the current price is covering. This will be blue. The price was 791, and I waited for the 8 break and got in at 808 right up here. If you look at the daily chart, maybe you'll see why I took this one. I think if you, oops, sorry about that. Get rid of my Skype for a second here. This had earnings yesterday, and obviously great earnings. When I say that, I have no idea what the earnings were, but the market liked whatever they said, whatever the guidance was, whatever the earnings was or were. The market liked it, so this was the pop. So this looked like a nice second day continuation. And so again, when I take a look at the 5-minute, so that is one reason why I was really liking this. There was really no resistance on the daily chart. So if we look at the 5-minute again. So I ended up taking the trade right here. It did have a little bit of a pop. Thought, okay, this is going to start to run. And then as it started moving down, I got out of the trade. I took myself out of the trade just over that 8 mark, and so, or just under. That's right, just under. So I took a little loss on that one, and then look at this candle. I mean, this really collapsed down to 776. I mean, on a percentage basis, that's pretty dramatic. Yeah, I took this Mellanox. I was having a tough time pronouncing it all day long. Mellanox. Ended up taking this one on a 45 break. Not the 45 break, but the 45 right up in this area here. It did pop up, but it was whipping up and down. Kind of got into this one. This is obviously down for the day. This is after hours yesterday. Big down on earnings, or big down gap on earnings. That down gap continued in the pre-market today. Again, the mauve area is after hours yesterday. The pink area is pre-market today. And then it started putting in a bit of a recovery. And this line right there is the 200-day moving average. So when that happened, when it broke through the 200-day, I decided I wanted to just test to see how much more could it possibly recover of this gap. Anyway, I scalped it out very, very quickly for really next to nothing. But thought I would just point it out to you. A lot of us do look at the 200-day just to see where the price is in relation to that 200-day. This turned out to be a pretty nice trade. This neighbor drilling. I think it's another earnings play. Released. It was actually after hours yesterday, but it really didn't do anything. You see, there's the after hours activity, and now here's the and really didn't do too much. $11. Yeah, I guess 11.76. Here's the pre-market today. Really was sort of bopping around in this area. Caught my attention, I think, on the break right there, the low. Okay? So when I saw that, I thought, okay, and it was sort of hanging around this area. In fact, I think I commented the fact that we had this little topping tail there. So, the buyers tried to move it up. Sellers knocked it down. And then the sellers took over again. So I got into this trade at 10:45. Right about here. That's right. I waited for it to break down through that 50-cent mark. So got into the trade right about here. And this turned out to be a really nice trade. I mean, this got all the way down to 10:03. I'd like to say I held on everything and covered it all the way down here. Not exactly. I covered some at 10:30 and then 10:18 and 10:21. So very quick though. I mean, these are all within 20, 25 minutes. So very nice percentage move on a quick trade. And then one that did not work, and I'm still watching it. And the interesting thing for me was if I bring in the SPY chart, you'll notice that here's the SPY putting in a fantastic move right there. And this is what, now I got into the trade at 36.23, right about here. And so it was right about here, all right? Now, if you look at the SPY in this time period, it was doing this. It was really soaring. And so this, as I said to the room, this gives me pause right now that, this is not moving up with the SPY. This had, obviously, the market loved the earnings report that came out. This is the after-hour action yesterday. It did kind of tank, though. But it was, the stock was still up. I mean, it was still up. Closed around 33.83, and the stock was at 36. So thought, okay, maybe it can regain some of the luster. It was over the whole number, and I thought maybe it could start to attack this little area up here. But in watching what the SPY was doing, and this was not moving, I didn't like that. So I ended up taking out the trade at 36.13 as it moved down. I said that, you know what, I just don't need this. The one I should have taken was the TDC. So you see the difference? This is the SPY moving up. This is the SPY moving up. And this is what this was doing. And yet, look at this one. This is down for the day. It's still down for the day. The other one was up for the day. And I sort of flipped a coin thinking, okay, the one that's up for the day, and with the SPY moving, in theory, should move a little bit better than from one that is down for the day. But anyway, it doesn't always work that way, does it? So let me just put this back here. Now here's one that has kind of caught my eye. See if it's moved at all. Not yet. So this APPS digital turbine. Take a look at the daily chart. Back it out a little bit. So here's an area right there. You see a spike up here, and we're sitting right there. So again, this is obviously a cheaper play. 64 million in the float. Not horrible, but for a low price stock, maybe that's a lot. But it does have an opportunity to kind of start filling in this gap here. And it had an interesting day yesterday in that it popped up and the sellers took it down. Didn't quite close it under $1. And they did get it 97 cents. This basically has held $1. And so this is one that I might, hold your breath, I might swing. If it holds this $1, I might take this one as a bit of a swing trade, as long as it holds $1. If it starts moving up, I might get into it, as it's leaving this little spike area behind. So that's one to maybe watch. All right, so wow, 13 minutes. That's a long video for me. Okay, I better wrap it up pretty quickly. Again, it's a free room. Open the room at about 8:45, between 8:45 and 10 to 9, and get live on the mic at 9 o'clock, all times Eastern, of course, up to 4 p.m. I usually close the room at 3:30, but if I have enough questions, I will stick around. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in our trading room tomorrow. Bye-bye.